Diving into Maze of Millennia today to talk about some of the crazy expected value that you can expect from this set. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. Now, for those of you that have been paying attention, Maze of Millennia is going to be the first set touching down here in January. So I would assume that we'll probably get the videos about, what, like a week in advance? So put us about the 12th or the 10th, one of the two. But the biggest question that I wanted to pose for this video is, what's our reprint equity in this set? Because we just slammed Rarity Collection, and one of the biggest things that, these side sets tend to bring with it are, there's usually some sort of reprint in the set that usually does get mentioned, or sometimes something will creep through the cracks that doesn't get talked about. And I think one of the things with this set is you've got a choice. You're either going to see Chaos Angel or you're going to see Thrust, because those are the two biggest things kind of sitting here at the dinner table where you're looking around, you're like, well, Robbie, what about Abomination's Prison? Well, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, okay, so there's a couple of little things to talk about here. So this also kind of ties into the OTS pack along the way here. So you've also got Dissipator. So we'll start with Abomination's Prison. So kind of looking at how this works, we do need an Abomination's reprint. Konami is probably fully aware of this, and them reprinting in this set would follow a lot of the trends of they want to make the deck. It was already extremely cheap. So we could go ahead and pound it into the ground as an ultra rare, call it a day for your reprint, and that would be nice. Or you take Abomination's Prison and you turn it in to an OTS Alti. I think either way, people would be cool with either, well, actually, the people that want cheaper Unchained cards to be able to play the game would not enjoy, it being an Alti. But for the people that would want to see the rarity upgrade, yes, that would be extremely nice. But once again, I mean, you either flip the coin for the reprint or you flip the coin for the possibility of the ultimate rare. And that also comes down to Dissipator here as well. Realistically, Dissipator is another target for a reprint as an ultimate rare. Considering we got Rock the Vanquisher coming down the pipeline here, we know that Konami is looking at those higher end, we're really going to call it a higher end, at the current Dragon Synchro monsters. And they're going, hey, maybe we could consider this. Now, I would consider Abomination's reprint in the set as an ultra, and then I would consider giving Dissipator an ultimate rare because it makes sense. Like, considering how many decks at this point are playing Dissipator, you can get by on the Dissipator reprint, Bunny Ears reprint, by dropping it in the OTS pack and going, hey, we can get by on this and call it a day. That would be the most likely scenario to dodge with that. Well, what about Chaos Angel and Thrust? Well, let's call it what it is at this point. Chaos Angel and Thrust are the two biggest cards that are kind of sitting at the dinner table left that we could see reprints for. Yes, I know SP Little Knight. Yeah, the horror stuff. All of that. We know this. But the problem is those cards are so removed from future reprints at this point. You won't probably see an SP Little Knight reprint. Probably earliest would be April, May, in whatever side set you're going to see along the way there. So SP's out of the question. So Chaos Angel. Okay, so Chaos Angel, so this is also an interesting one because you can also give Chaos Angel an ulti print in the OTS pack, but it wouldn't, I don't think it makes sense for them to want to go after. But to be fair, they did give Thrust the ultimate rare, so that wouldn't be that surprising. And then we dodge the Chaos Angel reprint for a little while until, future 10s. But Chaos Angel would make sense to dump it at this point now because most of these extra decks, especially when you have Labyrinth coming in the set here, Labyrinth Duelist want the pot, or they want to be able to play the triple pot of extravagance with this stuff, to be able to play the turbo build, and gas through all the little craziness that you get with it. I understand that. All right, that looks pretty enticing at first look, and I think I would be fine with the Chaos Angel reprint. It would stink because it's not going to get a higher rarity, but it needs to be more affordable. Because when you're looking at a card like Chaos Angel, that's a 3 of, versus something like Dissipator, that's a 1 of. It's more accepting to make it an ultimate rare on the Dissipator side and see that along the way. So I think that's going to be the possibility. It's honestly though, I don't think Konami's going to cash in on the reprint equity for Thrust just yet. Looking at how the set is structured, and depending on what little side set that we're going to have coming down here, probably, I'm not going to say like terminal. I don't know. See, this is the part that it gets really hard to talk about, because we have the Terminal World stuff that we don't know what they're doing with. Terminal World stuff could 100% be ported into the next couple of core sets, like they did with the Duelist pack along the way, and that'd be fine. Which, if they do hold the Terminal World stuff and they make it its own set, then you can almost bet your butt they're going to toss Thrust into that set for the reprint equity of that. So I know that's a lot to consider, but when you're dealing with only 3 to 4 major cards left in the world of reprints, and especially when these sets do hold these massive things, and you also have to think about as well, we're getting quarter centuries in this set. If we do see the Chaos Angel reprint, well, then that would make Chaos Angel a likely candidate to get a collector's rare, which means it can get the upgrade. Same thing, with the Abomination's Prison. If they drop a Bomb's Prison in here, that's a free rarity upgrade for it as well. Like, it's just, you got to think about how they want to split the pie. And, back to the OTS side of things. I saw somebody earlier talking about OTS, where, Dissipator would make just one of the best ultimate rares that you could see. And I do agree with that. Honestly, I do think that we could possibly see a possible reprint along the way for Dissipator. It makes sense for how things are going right now in the current structure of the game. All right, and then also on that same topic, Visus Shroud is an ultimate rare. Think about that. I don't think they're going to drop Visus Shroud into Maze of Memories. Because there's also Quem, but if they do go after the Quem reprint, then they're going to follow it up with the Visus Shroud. Quem is one of the only other things that has reprint equity right now too. I actually forgot about her, but I think OTS Ultimates, you just checkmark Visus Shroud, you just checkmark the Dissipator, and you checkmark Vanquish Salt Rock, and you call it a day. And then your other reprints, you probably toss in DDR. Yeah, speaking of, hey Konami, where's our DDR reprint? Considering how stupid good DDR is at this point, it's amazing that we haven't got a reprint. Also, Fire King Island needs a super rare, throwing that out there. And then, of course, you have a Vanquish Soul Trap card that's coming along the way that would also get a very nice upgrade. So, a lot of little things. It's mind-boggling, because you're sitting on all this reprint equity right now. And when you look at the current state of the game, these are going to get checkmarked. And then for next year, you take a look and you're like, oh, okay, SP Little Knight, the Horus stuff, those will be your immediate things. But Maze of Memories and the OTS pack, I think we're going to see some very interesting things. It'd also be interesting that if we do see a Thrust reprint, and them not advertising it as a selling point is a huge disservice. Like, it's actually pretty bad if they missed out on that, because that would have, done its thing. But also, do we really need to reprint anything too crazy in this set? Because, alone, you have Bonfire and all of those other crazy cards that are going to carry this transaction rollback, Buzz King. You might not believe it, but Buzz King is a good card, so a lot of things to consider along the way with that. So, What do you think? It's probably just going to be Abomination's Prison and Chaos Angel, but I think those are the likely candidates. So what do you guys think? Please comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here today, guys. Peace out.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.